Even my monthly bill was very much. So I have like maybe 20 or 30 customers, but
Hmm.
my monthly bill even went to 10k US dollars 1 month.
Holy cow. This episode of Indie Worldwide was brought to you by Biggin by Zoho CRM. That's right, Indie Worldwide has landed ourselves a sponsorship. Big shout out to Biggin, the simple CRM that will let you start building customer relationships to last a lifetime. They've got an easy-to-use application that works great on mobile, all the features you need to manage those relationships, and integrations with just about any application you might want. We have a link in the description you can click to get 50% off your first year using Biggin by Zoho CRM. Big shout out to Zoho for supporting Indie Worldwide. So, welcome to the Indie Worldwide podcast. Thanks for coming on. We've been working together for a bit now because I use your product Feather for everything. It seems like I use it for Wisen Guides. I use it for Indie Worldwide. I use it for my personal blog. Maybe let's start
You
with...
are also the first user who used Feather.
I'm number one, first paid user.
Yeah.
Nice. I thought I was, but I didn't know for sure. Yeah, it's awesome. I think I'm your second paying user also because I wanted a second separate account. Both annual subscriptions, by the way. So we'll come back to Feather. Let's start with you. What were you doing before you were indie hacking?
So after I graduated, I started working as a software engineer in a startup around here in India. So my pay was it was very good compared to other people here in India. But yeah, after 6 months, I just quit my job. I felt like that's not the lifestyle for me. So yeah, then that's when I thought I had to build something of my own, but I have no idea what to do. So I partnered with my friend of mine, and then we started working together on something. I think for over a year or something. But yeah, even that did not go anywhere. So that's like we built everything in private, and then one day when we launched, nothing happened. So yeah, it's just like we have eventually moved on. He went his own way, I went my own way. Yeah. So after that, I started working on MDX.one. Yeah, that's
So
how
a year
my.
of building in private. What was that product that you guys built together?
So it's a tech based product. It's a kind of like a course platform or something like.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
But
something related to tech, completely different than what I
but
was
no
doing.
marketing efforts
No,
and
I mean he. So it's like I'm more like a tech guy in that scenario. I did not get involved in anything other than coding. But yeah, so I later realized that that's not what I wanted to do, and also did not go anywhere. Yeah. So yeah,
nowadays
I
you're
moved on
doing
from that.
pretty good on the marketing side. Like you've really, it seems like you've figured it out
Yeah,
recently on Twitter with the build in public. I feel like just a month or two ago you were at 1,000. Now you're at 4,000. So you're growing really fast.
yeah.
So that didn't work out. You started MDX. MDX didn't quite
Yeah.
work out either. What happened there?
So before MDX only, I think when I was working on my other edtech startup, so I started blogging on Hashnode. So I started a developer blog and then wrote everything I have been learning while building that platform. So yeah, that's when I met so many other bloggers, other developers who got interested in my writing, and then they reached out to me. We talked, and then, yeah. So my network kind of started building from then when I started blogging. So yeah, so that's how I started MDX. When I wanted to build something of my own, I'm already writing articles at that time, and I'm writing them in Notion and then copying everything onto Hashnode and then publishing it. So yeah, that's when I started building this MDX.one. The first month, when it launched, So it was kind of like how Feather got launched. There was there was a hype and people started signing up, and I even got a few paid users. But then Notion decided to change their API, and suddenly MDX started. So it stopped working for I think for about a month or so. It did not work. So yeah, the momentum got lost from them.
So
And then yeah,
MDX, the idea was the same as Feather, right? Like you're
yeah,
gonna make
it's
a
same
blogging
as
platform on top of
yeah,
Notion.
yeah. The idea is same as Feather, but the end product is very different from Feather. So
So
there
Notion
there is
changed their
no
API. Is this when like
yeah
UseNotionCMS comes? Is this when you create your like Notion API
yeah.
service?
Even my monthly bill was very much when I was using MDX. So I have like maybe 20 or 30 customers, but my monthly bill even went to 10K US dollars 1 month.
Holy cow! For like
Yeah,
AWS.
no, for Vassal.
For Vercel, okay. How
Yeah.
how? And
The-
did you have credits? Like, how are you paying $10,000 a
I mean,
month?
they ignored it. They said that this is the first time, so they will refund that. So they
Okay.
refunded that 10K amount. But the next month, I think I got around 5K or something, and they gave me another chance. And then the next month, I got $1,800, but I had to pay that $1,800. So
Oh
that's when
man.
I decided. So even if I get more users, it's only going to cost me. It's not. There is no upside to it. So I
Yeah.
stopped signups for MDX.one and decided to rebuild everything from scratch. I changed the entire infrastructure and everything. So I took I think 3 to 4 months just to figure out how to cache things properly without costing too much. I moved everything from Vercel to Cloudflare. So yeah, so that's when I this UseNotion CMS started. So UseNotion CMS is like a backend for Feather. So Feather uses UseNotion CMS on the backend, but I just decided to turn it into a separate product to see if anyone else needs it. But yeah, I did not do much marketing for that. Right now, I have only I think two users there, two customers. One is paying $29, and the other person is paying I think $120 or something per month. So yeah. So it's still running, but I started working on Feather. I decided to rebrand MDX to Feather, change everything, and use this Cloudflare infrastructure. So yeah, that's when I finally launched Feather. Yeah, it was
Nice.
like
So you're
1 year of
kind of doing
soaking.
the AWS strategy, right? Like you're selling the service that you use internally. It's
Yeah,
just kind of interesting that you did that first, right? Like Amazon first started selling books, then they started selling AWS. You went straight to selling AWS, and now you're going to sell books. So you launched Feather, which is like MDX Part 2,
yeah,
which makes it super easy to host a blog on top of Notion. You've got this Notion CMS layer in the middle that makes it easy for you to get that data out and parse it. Now we're basically at the same point as we were before, right? Like you were working with this other partner. You guys didn't do any marketing. Obviously, you've made some changes since then because I know about Feather and lots of other people already do too. So how have you been marketing Feather? What did you learn?
So even for MDX, so when I started, even before writing a single line of code, I started marketing for that. So I started a wait list. I created a basic landing page. So even when building MDX, for every little thing, I started posting on Twitter. So today I did this. So every time I post, I'll get some more waitlist users. And then I will work on another feature, and then I'll get other some other waitlist users. So I think the waitlist grew up to 400 or 500 or something for
Oh wow,
MDX.
that's really good.
So that became like a habit for me. So right now it's not like I'm intentionally doing anything. It's just comes out like I try to share everything, and it's not intentional. It's it's how I am right now. So that became natural to me when I started building MDX.
This came from your blog and just Twitter. Was there any other channels?
Just blog and Twitter. Blog also
Nice.
right now it's not there. Right now it's everything is from Twitter and word of mouth, obviously.
Why did you decide to pivot to Twitter?
I did not pivot to Twitter exactly, but yeah, I saw other people. So I came to this indie hacking world, so people like Damon, Kenneth. So they were building all these cool things at that time. So yeah, I just kind of followed them on Twitter and then saw what they are doing. And then there is like a whole community on Twitter who are building their solo businesses. So yeah, so I came into that world on Twitter and felt like it's a natural medium to share to share things that I'm working on. Yeah, so it kind of happened. It, like I said, it's not intentional. It just happened, and it worked out in the end.
It seems like you've gotten pretty good at it, though. You're posting like build in publics tweets. I'm looking at your last tweet 9 hours ago. Looks like you just crossed $500 MRR. So congratulations on that. That's really good.
Yeah.
And how long ago did you start charging for Feather? It's only been like a month or two, right?
I think it's 18th for May. I think May
18th
18th.
of May.
Yeah.
So since May, you've launched this. You've started to grow the MRR. It's all still word of mouth and Twitter.
Yeah.
Do you have plans for distribution going forward? Are you just going to keep pushing on Twitter? Do you have other ideas
So
of how
right
people are going to
now,
find out
yeah,
about Feather?
the main thing I wanted to push on is SEO. I think that will work pretty well for this. So I'll start with publishing the help articles. So right now, most of my time is answering questions to customers. Yeah, I think these help guides will help reduce that, and then yeah, I'll plan on publishing more content. So yeah, I think my next strategy is SEO.
And you're quite, you seem to know a lot about SEO because you've built Feather to be very SEO
Yeah.
optimized, at least on the technical
So
side.
the problem with me is I know a lot of technical things on SEO, but I haven't practically used it. So I know how something should be, but I don't know if it is like that it will work or not because I haven't experienced it myself yet.
I see.
So yeah,
Where have you been learning about SEO? How do you have
so
this
yeah,
like library of technical knowledge?
when I was building MDX, so it's a blogging platform, right? So I had to learn everything. So at that time, so I was in a group, I think Circle group. It's the Circle community called Blogging for Devs community. So I most of the things I learned are from that community.
SEO is something I'm really trying to figure out this year as
Yeah.
well. It's part of why I ended up signing up for your platform is because of the SEO component. I wanted to be able to just write in Notion and have things done for me on the SEO side. So then I found your platform. It's like, oh, well, this is perfect. That's exactly what I'm looking for. And I found you through Indie Worldwide. I think you were already in the
Yeah.
community, and so that's where I saw you posting about what you were doing. And I'd already started working with Anna on our blog together, which is Wise and Guides. And so I think I messaged there was like 3 or 4 different people in the Slack who all were building tools to blog using Notion. Yours was the one most focused on like SEO and really just being like a blogging platform. And even though it wasn't exactly launched yet, it seemed closest to what I needed.
When you first messaged me, yeah, it was not even near completion. So it was just starting. I think. Yeah, I think I remember even telling you that yeah, it won't be finished by the time you needed, and I think I said to go with Ghost or something until I finish. Yeah, I remember that. But yeah, finally, yeah, it worked out. I think.
Yeah, I think I was basically that meme of Fry from Futurama with the wad of cash thrusted at your face, like, please finish this and let me buy it from you.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, that really pushed me. So if there is no feedback coming in, so I don't know so what to build. So when you started using it, so I understood what things are needed, what to build, what to not build. So yeah, when I started getting more users, yeah, so that's how everything came into place. When users started requesting features, or users started asking questions, then yeah, everything came into place. What to build and what to add, what to remove. Yeah.
I think this is something indie hackers on Twitter at least are talking about a lot, which is that once you have customers, it's a lot easier to get things done and build because one, they're telling you what they need, and then two, there's the motivation of, oh, they're paying me money. I need to get this out there. At least for me, I find it much easier to get things done once I've launched something. So I'm working right now on the 100-100 challenge. It's round 2. We last did it like over a year ago, and I thought I'd build everything ahead of time. I never did because nobody was like demanding it of me. So I realized I just have to like launch it again because as soon as I'm putting it out there and people are signing up and ready to go, then it's like, okay, there's pressure's on, got to get things out.
How many completed the challenge successfully?
So last year we had 550-ish sign up. Of them, I think 100 something founders submitted data all the way through. And then of those, 9 got 100 customers, which is like, it's a very aggressive goal on purpose. So the point isn't necessarily to hit the goal, it's to keep pushing towards the goal. So keep signing up users. And we ended up also ranking people by revenue added because obviously not every user is worth the same amount of money, right? So for some people, one new user was like $5,000. For some other people, one new user was like $1. And the people who made the most money over the challenge were actually not the people who added 100 new users. It was the ones who were charging like $5,000 per user. So we had a whole separate leaderboard ranking people by revenue. And we'll probably do that again this year too. Just recognize people who are building really strong businesses that don't demand hundreds of users. You know, like I think like there's unicorn startups out there with like 250 customers because each customer is paying them like $500,000, right?
Yeah, even I signed up to this. So last time I was not there.
So to recap here, we've got Bhanu, founder of Feather, just hit $500 MRR, got there by building in public on Twitter and blogging. This is your basically 4th attempt at a startup, but you're only 24 years old. What are your plans for the next month?
I think it's same, building in public, writing help guides, starting the SEO straight. Yeah, I think it's same as every other month.
What advice do you have for somebody who's maybe in your shoes 2 years ago, they're at their first job, they're thinking about becoming an indie hacker? What do you tell them?
I'm not sure exactly. I think every person's journey is different. So yeah, even if something worked out for me, it doesn't mean it will work out for other people. The context is different, and yeah, everything is different. So yeah, I think it's better not to compare with others and then just go their own way. Yeah, I think that's what I did. Yeah.
Very nice. Well, Bhanu, thanks for coming on the podcast. I'd love to have you back on 6 months, a year from now, when Feather's grown from 500 to 5,000 or 50,000, 500,000. Who knows? I'm a Feather super fan, and I have no doubts that it's going to keep growing bigger and bigger.
Yeah, I hope so.
And we've got a little race on too right now for people that don't know. We're neck and neck on the revenue, and we're both racing to 1,000. I think I challenged you to the race at and you were ahead of me by $100, but I've caught up. So now you're at 500, I'm at 600, and trying to see who gets to 1,000 first. But I think long term you're gonna leave me in the dust because the nature of your product is people writing on top of your platform and creating hundreds and hundreds of pages. So as you grow, I think your growth engine is going to get very strong, and I think you'll have many more hundreds of users than I do in a year or two. That's why I only challenged you to a race to 1,000 and not a race to 1,000,000.
Yeah, I don't think I can beat you at 1,000. Yeah, but you will see what will happen.
All right, I'm going to end us here. This was the Indie Worldwide podcast with Bhanu, and we'll see you out in the next one.